welcome everybody to the first episode of the Three Dude Podcast.
Yay! All right.
Yay!
The three dudes you already didn't want to watch, and now are excited to not listen to as well.
So, those of you who, with basically everybody who listens, the only people who are listening to this are the 5 people who give
I'd like
a
to
shit.
say hello to both the host and the audience in this moment. It's really exciting to know that you're going to be listening to this later as well.
The folks listening to this are the folks who have probably watched our very limited YouTube show.
Yes.
Who ask us about it all the time. We decided we've been kind of toying around with this idea for several years, and we're kind of finally now just putting it into motion. And we decided we were going to do our own Three Dude Cast.
Yeah. Do we have titles for this show yet? Are we calling it?
We don't.
We don't? Possibly Three Dudes Discuss?
Three Dudes Discuss, Three Dude Cast. I don't know.
Discuss?
You guys,
the Three Dudes Pound Table.
Yep. That's good.
Located in downtown Pound Town.
Put that on the back list.
You guys out there in podcast land probably know a lot better than we do what this is called.
Yeah, you know what? If you think of what to call this, just send it to us, please.
We'll
change the name.
www.idon'tgiveacrap.biz.
Isn't .pizza a domain now?
.pizza.
Is it really?
You can get .pizza.
That's really?
Yeah. I bet if you go to Pizza Hut.pizza, I bet right now if any of you get that, you get
There's a picture of
or Hut.pizza.
a naked guy with a big gross penis.
That's right. It's just a man slathering himself head to toe in garlic butter.
It's a big slice of pepperoni over each nipple. Stroking him sensually.
I'm the Pizza Hut now.
All right, introductions for those of you who don't know us yet. I'm Chris Brady. You can call me Ham, and I am magically delicious.
I am Slam, and I melt in your mouth, not in your hands.
I am Drog, and I'm the taste you can see. You know? Even I don't know what that means.
And it is Tuesday, which means that
You fuck with the lights on.
it's Tuesday. That means it's Dude's Day, and we are here set up at the basement floor of Dude Manor in sunny Youngstown, Ohio, to record the first podcast.
Yeah.
We have very briefly before we started recording this kind of nailed down the format for the show, just so you guys all know what to expect. We've already done our introductions. You all pretty much know who we are already, I would assume. For those of you who don't, who might be new,
We're kind of a big deal.
We are kind of we have 30 subscribers on YouTube.
We have over 29 subscribers.
Yeah, I've made some videos. I've used Vegas here and there.
Not a big deal. But yeah, the idea of the show is that we are sitting at the bar at the basement floor of Dude Manor.
Bar.
We gotta tell the story of this bar sometime as well.
We will.
We'll save it for that'll be a little Easter egg for later.
Little Easter egg.
Yeah, that's the string that they pull on to get through the entire episode.
Right.
Tell me more about this bar.
Yeah, we'll go. You gotta wait.
It's tastefully decorated with these solo cup lights.
Yeah, so you guys get to enjoy those.
We'll attach a picture somehow.
But yeah, we're sitting at the Dude Bar downstairs in the basement floor of Dude Manor. And we are going to rotate the structure of this show each week so that each of us will be the hosts at some point every week for the episode. So I am the host for the first episode of the show.
Inaugural host.
Yeah, inaugural host,
Andy.
Yeah.
Wow, don't fuck this up, son.
The idea is
pressure.
I think Slam was going to be the host next week. Slam Drog. We're going to do and we'll rotate. So what we are going to do is each week the hosts will pick a topic for the show that the other two don't know about. I believe the other two already know what my topic is going to be, which is okay for this one.
I have forgotten.
That's okay. Well, that's good. That'll help us out.
I have not.
But I am the first host, so I'll pick the topic this week. We will get into that. At the end of that topic, we're going to... what do I have written here? I already forgot. Jesus Christ.
We are off to a rocket start. Yes.
We are going to do
straight to Fame City, boys.
We're going to do recommendations at the end of the discussion of the topic, where basically each of us will make a recommendation. It could be an album, could be a piece of music, could be a piece of art, could be a movie, anything.
Yeah.
Anything that one of us, that
Could be
all
where
of us
and
wants
how
to.
you can go fuck yourself.
Yeah, if you feel like it, you can.
I do. I know I do.
I do. But yeah, we'll make a recommendation, and then at the end of all of that, we will discuss what we learned on the podcast this week. We'll all go around the bar, excuse me.
Yes,
and discuss what we learned. But before we get into all that,
table.
it's a longer table.
It's a long table you get drunk at.
But before we get into all that, we're going to start with a segment that we're going to call "Why We're All Fucked."
This week.
Yeah.
This week.
Yes.
Why we're all fucked this week. And basically what this is just what it sounds like.
Yeah, I was going to say, does this need explanation?
No, we're going to, this week in the world, tell you why the dudes think that we're all fucked. And I'm going to start this week because this is something that's been bothering me pretty much since I was a child.
Okay.
And it still continues to happen into my 20s and approaching my 30s.
Yeah.
If you are a baby boomer,
Oh boy, here we go.
you're over the age of 40.
And there goes like 25% of our audience. Potential audience.
What are you doing?
It's the audience that we're going to have.
Eventually,
right.
all 14 of them.
Man.
You're just altering the timeline though, but
No, if you're a boomer, particularly if you're a boomer with kids or later, I'm not discriminating. You're older than that. If you say the word Pokemon and not like Pokemon or like anything that's close to the way it's supposed to be pronounced, just go ahead and fuck yourself. You sound like, and I understand, like, this is my.
I
like,
love this.
I understand. I understand that you're old and you don't give a shit and you know nothing about it.
Yeah.
But you sound like a fucking idiot when you say Pokemans.
Okay.
And I know that here's the thing. I know you've all been corrected before. Somebody has corrected you several
stopped
times,
you.
and you keep saying it that way.
Yeah.
You keep saying it that way.
hey there, son, you having a good time with them Nintenders and them Pokemans?
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And you sound, I'm just saying, I heard that, I work at Best Buy, as at least several of you know who are listening to this, who work with me.
All three of you.
But I heard somebody talking to his grandson, or I guess would have been his son, but they're talking about Pokemon, and he asked me where the Pokemon were, and I just like,
Wait, hold on. So this is the customer and his son or
grandson.
His
I
grandson.
think it could have gone either way. The guy was like older. It was in that zone where it could have been either his son or his
But the thing is, he's got a young person with him.
Yeah.
So did you watch to see if the young person buried his face in his hands?
He didn't do that.
Oh my God,
But I got the impression that the kid was like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Like you guys remember, like we all grew up on the Pokemon craze.
Yeah.
Yeah. My parents got it right.
Yeah. My dad never got it right.
Because it's an O and not an A.
Right.
I'm going to take you a step farther. Here's where I think this takes us into we're truly fucked territory. Is people who know correctly what to say
And they don't give a shit.
and they don't want to because they don't want to act like they know anything about that thing.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, because I've seen people do this. I've seen people to my age be like, "Oh yeah, you playing the Pokemon, huh?"
Yeah.
You know, like,
Dude,
"Oh,
shut your fucking
yeah, like,
mouth.
oh, I get it. You're too cool for your own fucking nostalgic
Yeah,
childhood."
shut your fucking mouth. That pisses me off.
Yeah.
Because you know, like, somebody has told you at some point in your life that you're saying it wrong.
Yeah.
And I would wager, I'm just throwing this out there, I would wager that someone's told you more than once that you're saying it wrong. And I'm sure by now you all know that. And you're just choosing to disregard it.
Well, yeah.
So if you are one of those people, then fuck off. Because, like, it gets under my skin.
Yeah.
It just gets under my skin that you don't give enough of a shit about the other, what's going on. Especially directed mostly at people with kids or grandkids. Who do that.
Right.
You don't give a shit. And that's okay, but at least you know, use your proper fucking
Pretend
grammar.
to give a shit about the things that other people care about.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
You know, I don't go around deliberately getting people's names wrong as like a weird power move to show people how I don't give a shit. Like, that's such a psychological thing.
Right.
To be like, oh yeah, I so don't care I couldn't even bother to get this thing right. What a dick move.
It's a dick move.
It is a dick move.
It's a dick move.
Okay.
That's why we're fucked. That's mine. Slam, why are we fucked this week?
I say we are fucked this week because of a tendency I've been noticing lately.
Okay.
For people to how should I put it? A tendency for people to and you guys are gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. Evade justice by taking the chicken shit way out.
Okay, how's that though?
By shooting yourself so you don't have to deal with the cops.
Oh, are we talking about this very, very topical, highly relevant thing that happened like today?
Today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're recording this on Tuesday, which is our Dude's Day. So
What's the date? What year is it?
It's 2017. What is today? Actually,
It's the 18th.
18th.
April 18th.
We're from sunny
Almost
Youngstown,
420.
Ohio. Like, blaze it.
Blaze it! Almost 420.
Well, I say it's a tendency because I'm sorry, you were going to say the Facebook murderer was found dead some hours ago.
And it's close enough that it's almost hometown territory.
It was in Erie,
Right.
Pennsylvania, which, as many of you know, sucks.
Yeah.
But if you for people listening to this retroactively, this guy from Cleveland, his girlfriend left him or something, so he Facebook Lived himself in his car, gets out of the car. He's talking about, I'm going to go kill somebody.
Yeah.
And he gets out of the car, and he walks up to this guy on the street. This old guy walking around, he has a Save-A-Lot bag in his hand.
Yeah.
I found out later he's collecting, that's what he did. He would collect aluminum cans. And just kind of pick up aluminum cans. This guy draws a gun on him. He basically says, do you know this person's girlfriend's name? This is why this is about to happen to you, because this girl broke up to me. And puts a gun in his face and just shoots him.
Yeah,
And,
pretty fucking scary.
Yeah, it's a heavy thing, and then he gets back in the car, and that's it. So this happened a couple days ago, and today they just found his body in his car.
Yeah.
He blew his brains out.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I use the word tendency is because not even a week ago, we had a local case of a guy who was accused
Of rape.
of rape against a 10-year-old girl.
Who was, let's just be honest, guilty as sin.
Guilty as
They ended up moving the jury trial because no jury in Youngstown would find him innocent.
Because they
Yeah.
knew enough about it.
Right.
So he ends up burning this girl's house down with her and her grandparents inside,
Yes.
and then has to stand trial for murder. This happened about a year ago.
Yeah.
Maybe a little more. And just last week, like I said, I think it was like Thursday or Friday, this past 4 or 5 days ago, he leaps from the 4th floor of the courthouse and kills himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what you do when you're guilty as sin.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I don't know. I would like to employ the better part of myself that's like, well, we don't know.
But we
there
know.
wasn't a trial.
But we know.
But
the trial,
sometimes it's pretty obvious.
A trial is not the ultimate end-all, be-all for, you know what I mean, like...
Man, that crumbly tobacco sounds real nice.
I bet that's good.
I bet that's real good in the microphone.
Oh, yeah. Crumbly.
Yeah, pack that pipe.
Oh,
There
yeah.
you go.
Here's what I'm smoking. And here's what... That's okay.
We're saving that one for later.
Yeah, it's a special segment we worked real hard on.
But, that was... Well, and this is the thing I guess I could talk about. I watched that video of him jumping off the
I've
balcony
seen it too.
6 times.
6 times?
Wow.
I was one of the, I'm a bad person. So I was one of those people who's upset that I didn't get to watch him go every story down. now there's a flip side. No, seriously,
I know.
I'm a bad person.
Well,
It's
yeah, but he's
okay.
a bad person, and there's a part of you that gets a little bit of relief.
Sure. But
He's a heavy fucker too. You think he cracked the tile?
Right.
I certainly did. I'm sure they're replacing it right now.
But I watched that video, and I also watched the video of the guy getting shot in the face. And I don't know why I watched that one. And I realized that when I watched that, I don't want to be on the internet as much as I usually am.
Yeah.
Because I found the first thing, I'm like, I got to watch the video. And then I watched it, and I gained no information of it that
That you
I
couldn't have
needed.
read.
There was nothing in that video that I needed.
Well, have you ever been like The French have a term for this, and I can't remember what it's called, but it loosely translates to call of the void.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where have you ever been on like a ledge and just wondered, like, what would happen if I just jumped right off?
Mm-hmm.
You don't feel suicidal. You don't feel like you need to kill yourself. You just wonder what it would be like.
It's a universal morbid curiosity.
Right. And I feel like that same sort of impulse kind of applies to watching things of people fucking dying.
Yeah,
you know?
sure.
It's not the best thing in the world to do. I usually have to there's you can find combat footage of our armed forces on YouTube,
But see, that doesn't affect me. When I watch that, I'm like, well, I guess we're conditioned to think that way. But I watch that and I'm like, well, that's warfare. You know what I mean? Whatever. You know?
Right.
But then I watch something like this where there was no sense to it, and I gained nothing. There was nothing of value that I gained.
Sure.
From that.
Yeah. There's no sense in
There was no merit in
just
watching
walking down the street and then just being shot.
At least when it comes to warfare, there's a hope that there's a noble goal, that there's structure, that there are rules.
Even if there isn't always, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's at least like what we aspire to in any reasonably noble form of warfare. That doesn't exist when a guy walking down the street is accosted by a stranger who wants to kill him just because he's the first person he saw.
Yeah.
There's something so unsettling. This is an upbeat podcast. I gotta say, if people hard hitting, you laughing yet?
So my ultimate thing, and I was thinking about this too because of a thing I saw about a girl who cost her father an $80,000 lawsuit because she posted about it on Facebook. This you got to be responsible for the shit that you do online, and if you can't handle it, don't do it.
Exactly. And learn your lesson. Like that's how you learn things. Is
Yeah, I think so.
And I don't feel bad for either of those two at all.
No,
but
certainly not.
Even I'd like to think that even if I was a horrible, crazy person who did something terrible like that, or even if I wasn't a horrible, crazy person and I just did something terrible, I would have the gumption to stand up and do it.
Yeah,
but I mean,
sure.
I don't know that, but this is what I have to say.
On the note of taking responsibility for the things you say and do online, hi, Mom.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Okay, so I was gonna say, to get to the core of your point, though, we're fucked this week for people dodging in chicken shit ways to avoid paying for the shit that they had to do.
Avoiding ultimate
So
justice.
there's ultimately a void left behind by shit like this when someone jumps off a ledge instead of letting the state
facing the music.
Yeah, right.
You fucking animal.
No closure. No, it's like a. I mean, it's almost an insult to the families of the victims.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I
And
think so.
To deny them that.
And to a lesser extent, the people who are capable of feeling sympathy for those families, like the rest of us who would love nothing more than to see you fry and sit in jail for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? All right.
Well, on the plus side, hey, toilet wine.
Yeah. Hey,
gotta love toilet wine.
On that note, Dave, where are we fucked this week?
Gosh, I really don't have a good one, but I'm gonna start by saying I'm fed up with Alibaba Express. AliExpress. I'm fed up with AliExpress. I don't know if you guys. Okay, so this is why I felt fucked this week. So I need a new, and this is gonna sound so goddamn boring. This is the worst story for the show, but so I have to fix this part of my shower. It's the thing that you hit that you go between the fill for the spout and the shower thing, and the specific one I have, you just can't find one like it because they don't make them or the shape. It's a very narrow space. I have to get this thing, so I'm hunting all over the internet for this thing. I ended up on AliExpress. And I know that you can get cheap shit on AliExpress because that's what it's for. It's like China Amazon, right?
Okay.
The idea is like basically all these Chinese manufacturers. It's like they're Amazon / eBay, right?
China was an Amazon, man. She was built.
Shout out to the 8th wonder of the world, China. Famous dead wrestler, almost the first woman to win the WWF title.
Oh man, we'll have to talk about that sometime.
Yeah,
because I don't know much about that.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that. Don't worry.
Oh boy, I can't
Never you
wait.
fear. Go on.
Okay, so what pisses me off is I find this part on AliExpress, and it's not easy. Finding anything on AliExpress is not easy.
Sure.
And when I do find it, you have the listed price for the item, right? Where it says, okay, this thing is I haven't been able to find this thing anywhere for less than like $120.
Okay.
And I know it's ridiculous. It's so stupid. Just if you're listening and you don't have a house, don't buy one. Don't buy one. Break all the shit in your apartment. Call your landlord. He's gonna come and he's gonna fix all of it. Don't buy a house. So, anyways, I'm looking at this part, and it's $30-some. That's what it says, but it also says that it's 33% off. So I'm going, that's cool, but it says only for 8 more hours.
Okay.
Oh no, I have to make a decision in 8 hours now. I have to decide if I'm going to buy this thing or I'm going to, talk to the original manufacturer of the shower or whatever, whatever stupid thing I have to do. So, but then beneath that, you can also get 10% off with this code. But then that means you have to spend $150. So I'm thinking, shit, do I need more of these?
You're lost in coupon hell.
Yeah, right. I guess I'm looking at the most labyrinthian coupon nightmare that I've ever set eyes on.
So long story short, you paid how much you won?
I know. The thing is, I didn't buy the thing. I didn't do anything.
Okay.
I was paralyzed by choice.
Well, here's the thing. Whenever that you see a shitty company like that throwing like a 8 hours to get this deal,
It's always bullshit.
It's literally going to be the same price for the next 8 months.
I know. That's the thing is,
But you fall for it. I fall for it every
well,
time.
I didn't
Yeah.
buy it because I'm going. I know this can't be the real deal, and I haven't.
Well-
this was over 24 hours ago. By the way,
Yeah.
you were gonna say.
I was gonna say Steam's the exception.
Steam is
when
the
they
exception.
when they say it's on sale for that weekend only, they mean that fucking weekend.
For
right?
you gamers out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's that. Yeah.
So I stared the thing down for a while, and I eventually caved. And that's now been 24 hours. I haven't had the balls to go
and look at
the price. I thought about it 3 times a day.
You know what? Don't. You're not gonna get. There's nothing to be gained out of it.
No, because no matter what, it's at best just like the same pressure that I walked into yesterday, and at worst, it's bad news, and it's gone up to $100 and whatever dollars. So, why we're fucked is I think commercialism and retail and the Chinese maybe, I'm not sure, some combination of these things.
Those corporate Chinese fuckers.
Well, it's really ridiculous. I mean, if you have never been on there, go. I actually recommend
Just
go
browsing.
look at AliExpress and see what crazy things you can get for $15. And now, here's the other thing. You get all these prices, but the free shipping amount, they tell you, okay, it'll take about 20 to 30 days to get to you, but you can get it for free. Or you can pay $15 and you can get it within 7 to 10 days.
What a deal.
What? Yeah, that's still 10 fucking days that I paid for it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
20 to 30 days. Are they shipping it by fucking catamaran or
I
something?
think so. Honestly,
The guy on a Chinese dock going, "What?" Fires a boomerang with it.
Yeah, there's just like a fucking 17th century junk just like traveling across the Pacific.
somewhere in the middle of a gigantic industrial city in China, there's the world's largest siege catapult. They just load up everyone's boxes and
Dave,
cut the thing.
Trebuchet.
Trebuchet is clearly the superior siege weapon. Don't get me wrong. I just discovered trebuchet memes like a week ago.
Really?
Never knew about it. It's amazing.
They're fantastic.
If you're listening to this, check out trebuchet memes on Reddit. There's a pretty decent subreddit dedicated to this.
It was one of my favorite things to build in Age of Empires 2.
Trebuchets?
Yeah.
It is the superior siege weapon.
It is
truly is.
As we all know.
pinnacle of siege weaponry
As
in
we
that
all
game
know.
and in
Pretty
real
sweet.
life.
Yeah.
Oh,
At least
man.
until we invented the bunker buster.
Yeah.
So that has been why we're fucked this week.
Yeah,
Yay!
woo! All right.
Successful first topic.
Oh, God.
Should we break?
Yeah, we need to figure out the logistics of this thing after all.
Let's.
Anyone got a piss?
Let's pause for some music that we definitely don't have the copyright for. We're not going to do that.
Yeah, we're not gonna do that. We'll play our own
But we'll,
music or something in there, and yeah.
Okay.
But let's pause for now, and we'll be back with the topic of the week.
Woo!
Very good, very good.
Welcome back to the Three Dude Cast. Even though you were probably just listening straight through, we were not. That's okay. I hope you enjoyed that little whatever we put in the center there in between the breaks.
I'm sure it was awesome.
I'm sure whatever we did was probably incredible.
The 5 minutes of me playing taps by farting against my forearm.
The 1.5 minutes of the sound of a turtle having sex.
Go look up turtles having sex. Everybody do that. Oh man.
Oh, that's it. That's more like it.
That's it.
Yeah. Those little bastards will have sex with anything.
Yeah.
They sure are.
It doesn't have to be animate.
Sure are. Already fucking.
They're adorable when they're fucking, ain't they?
Oh god. Oh man. Let me light up more of this.
Oh yeah,
Delicious.
I think we have our episode tagline. Adorable when they're fucking, ain't they?
That's good.
Yeah.
Let me light up more of this delicious mocha tobacco. Here's what I'm smoking.
Well, here's what he's smoking.
And here's what I'm drinking.
Here's what he's drinking.
We gotta,
Yeah.
because we gotta. So I'm a big cigar guy.
Yeah.
And I have been for actually. Shout out to Ross if Ross is listening to this.
Hey, Ross.
Ross Bilby is probably
miss you.
the reason I'm in such a big cigar guy. So I'm a big cigar smoker, and I got Dave into cigar smoking, and then we got Ben into cigar smoking.
Mm-hmm.
Ish.
Ish, kind of, sort of.
Yeah,
It's
friendship truly is the gateway drug, isn't
Yeah, right. insofar that you'll have a cigar with us when we do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you gotta have some vices, right?
Yeah.
So you,
Yeah,
Dave,
right.
when we were doing, when we were getting big into cigars, you joined a Facebook group.
Yeah, so the story is I got a friend, a friend and a client, someone that I met through doing some web design, and he's a member of a cigar group, which I thought was super cool. Because, it's just, a bunch of people who are enthusiastic about cigars. Sometimes they send each other just random people cigars. So this is cool. I'll be a member of this. And I think it took me 9 days or less to realize every single post essentially boils down to
Here's what I'm
I'm smoking. And here's what I'm drinking.
Smoking?
Smoking. Drinking. It's great. It's amazing. If you ever get a chance to join a cigar group, just go and look at what people are posting, because it's always this top-down shot of a guy's hand next to his table, where his drink is, and it's a picture of a
Smoking,
drinking.
drinking.
And it'll always be like, good morning, or having my cigar, or what a lovely evening.
Yeah.
And it's the same goddamn, you can change out the cigar and the drink, and it's always the same exact picture.
Aside from the reviews, which are just pretentious bullshit.
Yeah, right, the magazines and all that.
Cigar Aficionado has made a career out of doing that exact thing for like 60 years.
Remember the Onion headline that Cigar Aficionado to change its name to Pompous Asshole Monthly or something like that?
I'm unashamed to say that I had a subscription to Cigar Aficionado.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, it's cool. It
does help you find good smokes. But what I'm smoking this evening is from the local cigar shop, Havana House, up in Boardman, which is right down the road from us, Boardman, Ohio. They have their own house blends of tobaccos. I'm smoking the one that was recommended to me by the one guy who was there. I guess it's a mocha blend. I don't even remember what I'm smoking. It's a mocha blend, I think. And he said, this is literally what everybody comes in and asks for.
Wow.
Does not taste like mocha. Does not taste like coffee.
Smells mocha-y.
It smells mocha-y. It does, but it's really mild. It's really good.
Yeah.
I like it.
Not too roasted.
I quit smoking cigarettes about a year and a half ago.
Congratulations.
So I enjoy. Yay!
Yeah,
Oh, yay!
little
Woo!
pat,
Look how good you are! Woo!
Upgraded to pure tobacco.
Yeah, and I like this more because it's more precise. It's a little more relaxing kind of thing.
it's also less often.
Right. It's less often. It's a Tuesday. It's basically almost always a Tuesday exclusive thing.
Yeah. Once a week, kick back with a pipe or two.
Right. Enjoy it. Right.
Yeah.
So, and I'm drinking George Killian's famous Irish Red.
The Grand Lord George Killian.
Oh yeah.
Ooh. Yeah.
All right. So
Still good. Still good.
Trunk age.
Trunk aged.
George Killian's trunk-aged ale.
Yummy.
Well, but see, in Ireland they call it boot aged.
The boot aged.
Yeah.
You big fat Irish fucker. Drink this.
George Killian's famous "Shut Up and Drink It."
Shut up and eat my fucking shepherd's pie.
That's got a what?
Slim, what are you smoking and drinking?
I'm smoking a cigar that I fell in love with, and I bought it purely because of the label. It's Perla del Mar, Pearl of the Sea.
Which roughly translates to
the Perla of the Mar.
Right. Precisely. And
it's a good smoke, actually.
it is. It's very good. It's the right strength for me, I think, because I don't smoke. I've never smoked cigarettes.
It's a really mild,
Yeah, and
really fragrant. A lot of smoke too.
right. And I bought it based on the label because the label is this really tasteful.
It's like a little boat, right?
Yeah, it's like a old timey ship.
Yeah.
like a
with all those filigree gold
right,
flaky
sure.
things around it.
yeah. It just looks really cool. Makes me want to be a pirate.
95% of
And-
cigar smoking picks come from the label. That's why
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, it
there's
was
time into that.
It was good, but yeah, no. So I started smoking and I decided I really liked it. So that's been my cigar
You've
choice.
paired that with.
I paired that with the cheapest ass beer that Canada has to offer.
Moosehead.
Moosehead Lager.
Yeah, baby.
Canada's oldest independent brewery.
Yeah.
Which I also drank for the first time because I like the label.
Underneath, really small, it says like Heineken but shitty.
Yeah. Dave, what do you?
It's like a subdued weed
Yeah.
Well, I have kind of the classic over here. It is in no way classy, but it's my regular go-to Marlboro Edge cigarettes and black coffee, which are so. I feel like they're so emblematic of me.
Yeah.
I'm a simple man. I like simple things.
Dave is the only one of us who is most likely to wear a tie to work.
And yet, funny enough, I have never worn a tie.
But
yeah,
you
this
are.
is what I'm wearing right now. My Creeper Minecraft T-shirt.
Yeah.
and
Real
blue
topical.
and American blue jeans.
Straight out of 2009.
Yep. This is work attire for me.
Yeah. not
Yeah.
bad. I like it.
Because I work in a place that is just about 2 years away from no longer being hip in any way, shape, or form. So,
Whatever.
yeah, just milk it while it's around.
Yeah,
you know?
enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
That's good. Oh man, so that was a thing that we call smoking and drinking.
Smoking
and drinking. Woo!
Flooding our bodies with chemicals.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I guess it's time to get into the topic of the week.
and I've forgotten this. What?
So yeah, this is I forgot to bring this up earlier. The main general idea of this podcast and the YouTube show that we've been doing for a while on and off is.
For us to hang out and drink.
Exactly. That's I mean, that's really what most of this boils down to is us hanging out, drinking, enjoying each other's company.
Yeah.
Good or bad. We have fun doing this. It is basically done for nobody else but us.
You want to have a record of the funny shit you said
It's
that
a
one time.
chronicling of our friendship. That's what this is.
We ain't changing the world here. We're not out to be the next Hannity Combs and
Right.
And that other guy.
Curly.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's an opportunity for us to get together each week, enjoy each other's company, be friends and just bullshit.
Yeah.
So the podcast is kind of an extension of that with a little bit more focused attitude. The way that we're set up at this bar is that Dave and Ben are on the front side of the bar. I am behind the bar in the bartender position as the host for this week.
Yes.
And I will.
You're serving up facts.
I'm serving up
buddy.
facts.
You're serving up nothing but the real hard truth.
That's it. Clark Kent Brady.
Hammerson Cooper.
Emerson Cooper.
Oh boy, I like nicknames.
No, so the podcast is basically a catalyst for discussion. We're going to be talking about maybe possibly some heavier stuff. We're going to we're going to limit ourselves to topics each week. Whether or not we stick with them remains to be seen. But we're gonna try and start off a conversation with a topic. And this week, the topic that I have chosen for us to discuss is human moments of human connection. So
Okay, I thought we were talking about warfare.
no,
Oh,
no.
all right.
Save that one for the bank.
Yeah, all right. Put that one. Put the
later.
one in the backlog.
So the topic that I've chosen is moments of human connection.
Okay.
And I'm going to explain it with a story, but like more precisely, a moment that you've had or moments that you've had in your life where you have spent or felt an intense connection or disconnection to another human being. Could be one human being, could be many human beings, but a personal connection
This is nice.
on some level.
This is downright sweet of you, buddy.
Aw.
Yeah.
So the story I'm going to tell is the story of the time this was 4 or 5 years ago. My dad lives in California, if people don't know that.
I don't know why we decided.
I don't know
He
either.
doesn't really sound like that.
That was my impression of my dad, who sounds
Nothing
like that at all. Yeah. But yeah, no, my dad lives in California, and I try on semi-regularly to get out there and see him because he's my dad, and I love him and I miss him. And a couple years ago, I flew out there to go visit him, and I was on it was a split flight, so it came from Pittsburgh Airport here to Houston International, and then to Sacramento Airport in California. So I just spent a 4-hour layover in Houston, which was just great. And I had this flight to Sacramento, and I had the center seat because that's all that was available by the time I booked the flight. So I'm in the center seat in this big plane, and the guy who sits down next to me is just right out of a Texas coloring book. I mean, he is the
Texas paid by numbers.
Right, seemed like a nice enough guy. He
Playing blackjack with himself.
He came in. He had a collared polo shirt on, like a golf shirt. He had like golf shorts on down to his knee. He looked like he was dressed in business casual, like he had to go somewhere for something. He had a cowboy hat on and a big belt buckle, and he was a large guy. He was like my size, except maybe a little taller.
Okay.
So big guy, and he came in. He put his bag in the overhead, put his hat in the overhead container, and he, nodded at me and smiled, and then sat down next to me, and then we kind of did the thing that you do on a flight when you're next to people you don't know, and you just kind of ignore each other through.
Yeah.
Like, so we're boarding.
With any luck.
Yeah.
With any luck.
Let's be honest.
Or the person near you.
You don't pay attention to anybody around you, and you don't give a shit, and you try not to interfere with anybody's
Just kind of
space.
mumble, please God, let it end in your head
Right.
until you land.
So I'm sitting next to this
Like you
guy. The plane is boarding. The plane is boarding at this point, and they're getting towards the folks in the back. We're already seated. We're already ready to go. And when we were like on the dock getting ready to load, I noticed behind me there were a troop of Girl Scouts that were, I don't know, they had to have been there for some reason, but there was a bunch of them. There was
Okay.
five or six in a group, and then 5 or 6 in another group, and it was just a bunch of Girl Scouts. I don't know if there's like a Girl Scout convention somewhere in
I'm sure
Houston.
there is. I'm sure they meet
But
up
they're
there
in the
somewhere.
full garb. They're in the
Oh, wait, with the green vest and little...
green vest and the sash with the badges on
Yeah.
it. They could have been like really young Dutch military, but I don't know that.
Let's go with Occam's razor and say that they're probably Girl
They were
Scouts.
probably Girl Scouts. I don't know. But we're sitting there and we're on this flight, and the girls are walking in and they're doing the girl, like the little girl thing. They're
all excited.
They're all excited, and there's several parents who are there not paying attention to these girls at all.
Right.
And they're running, and they all have pillows and blankets, and they're taking them onto the flight, and they run down the aisle, like trying to get to their seats, and they're going, and they have pillows in their hands. And oh god,
Oh, boy.
God, Jesus.
Yep, this is going to be just like the YouTube show.
Yep. It's that kind of podcast.
Except I left my fucking beer upstairs.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna have to go get you some.
Yeah,
more.
we're gonna have to have a segment break.
But no, they're running down the aisle, and there's a group of 4 of them, and one girl is out in front, and the guy in the seat next to me is like leaning back, and he's got his eyes, like he's just resting his eyes. He's closing his eyes, and he keeps opening them every once in a
Wait,
while.
so Texas guy's in front of you?
Texas guy is to my left.
Okay.
I'm in the center seat. There's a guy to the right of me who's already checked out and is asleep.
Okay.
There's a guy to the left. The Texas guy is to the left of me, and he's like, nah, And he basically, like keeps opening his eyes, hearing these Girl Scouts, as they're giggling and making a ruckus on the plane. And
Sure.
they're running, like as they're walking past, the one who's out in front is, and a couple girls behind her call her name and ask her something, and she turns around with her pillow tucked under her arm and just bashes this guy right in the face with the pillow. And he goes, like he stutters back. And then she does it again when she turns back around. She whacks him twice with the pillow.
Oh my god.
And then giggles on and goes past him.
Oh shit.
And he sits up in his seat a little bit, kind of like this, and doesn't look at me.
Yeah.
But like I saw the whole thing, and he knows that I saw the whole thing because I just watched this thing happen, and I'm going. And I was like shaking my head, like, oh god.
Yeah.
And he sits up on the seat, and he doesn't look. He doesn't like look with his eyes back at me. He just gestures his head back, kind of like this. He's just, like, and cocks his head towards my side, and I couldn't help it. I just started laughing. Like it was just so funny because he was looking for someone to be like, "Can you believe this?" And he just gestures back, and I started laughing.
It's complete resignation.
I put my hand over my face, and I couldn't stop. And he goes, God damn it.
That's amazing.
But like leans back in his seat, closes his eyes, and like that was the end of my interaction with this guy. But it was just that one like brief moment. I've never felt more connected to a single human. I swear to God, I've never felt more connected to a single human being in a random moment than I have at that moment.
Oh, that's amazing.
Where we were both just on the same page of like, wow, I can't believe that just happened to you. You know what I mean? Like that, you know. It was just this really intense, funny moment between us, and I've thought about that literally for 5 years.
Oh my
like,
God!
It strikes me as so funny and so silly.
What else could he do?
You know what I mean?
He desperately wants one person to go, "I'm sorry that happened to you."
Right, exactly. And I gave him none of that. It was just funny to me. Like,
Yeah.
It just struck me as really funny.
Is this a moment of connection, or is this a moment of thank God that's not me?
It was a moment of connection only because he recognized that it was also funny and just didn't react to it. Like, you know what I mean? He was like, God damn it. Just, you know, and just for that, just that one God damn it,
Yeah.
you know, was like this moment of we all go through the same stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
And we all recognize when it's stupid. And,
You know, it's like the first pillow swipe. That would have been an unremarkable
It was two.
story.
She-
it's the second one where she
turned-
gets him again.
She turned this way the first time.
Yeah, that's
and then
counterclockwise.
Back this way the other time.
then clockwise.
Bam, bam. You know, backwards, forwards. Whacked this guy, knocked his glasses off his face.
Oh, the glasses fell
No,
off?
glasses came down like this, you know, like half hanging off his face.
That's
and
tremendous.
it struck me as very funny, and I think it struck him as very funny too. He just didn't react to it because he was angry at the
That's
moment.
tremendous.
But it was, and I don't know if this guy's ever thought about me in his life. I would imagine not, but it was just a moment that sticks out in my mind as particularly funny in a moment where me and one other human being were exactly on the same page.
I love it.
At the same time for just this fleeting moment.
Oh, wow.
So that is the kind of stuff I'm talking about when I bring up the topic of human connection. Could be very serious, could be quick, could be a long-term thing. It could be whatever you want it to be. But
Okay.
that is my example.
I think I have one. Unless you've got something in the bank.
I've got two I can think of off the top of my head. I mean, like, this is my dilemma. Is because of the nature of my work.
Yeah.
I have plenty of human moments, but I don't know what I'm allowed to talk about. Or what I'm not.
right.
Sure. I mean, there's
Probably,
plenty of
probably it's in most cases better not to mention it.
exactly. Yeah.
Sure.
It's, they're
Well, I mean, you can
Because it's a client and a caregiver relationship.
Right, you explain it. I mean, if they don't know, you
Yeah,
can
I-
explain what, you know.
I work with adults with special needs. Yeah, I'm an instructor at a day program for people with special needs, developmental disabilities.
Yeah.
So there's only so much I can say before I'm there's like privacy laws and
Absolutely.
things
Yeah,
like
right.
that,
No, we don't
HIPAA
wanna-
and everything.
We don't wanna get into that.
It's probably best to keep most of those off.
The bigger problem is I have two ideas, but I'm terrible at telling stories. like every
We'll walk you through it.
every good story has to come to like a point, and mine just kind of don't.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Well, that's I don't know about that.
Well, it's up to us to determine the meaning, I think.
That's true.
So.
I guess so.
Why don't you give us the sort of smorgasbord of
Yeah.
stories details?
Give us the poo-poo platter.
Yeah, why don't you
We'll
give us a real sandwich spread of details?
We'll decide if we want to eat the chicken wings now or later.
Well, I mean, how could that not be the first item you
Yeah,
go for?
right. I don't know what
Really?
chicken wings
You ever
would be
had
first.
Chinese food chicken wings? They're so good.
I have not.
They're incredible. We're gonna go get poo-poo platter. That's what we're gonna do.
Oh, yeah.
I see them at. We haven't been to that buffet in a while, but I see them at Chinese buffets all the time. And I've never.
They're like big and bulky, and they're all multiple. Like they're
Yeah.
larger than a regular chicken.
Fat guys talking about food.
Oh, man.
Cutting edge entertainment on the
Oh,
Three
man.
Dude
That's
podcast.
the title. That's the title of the show.
Fat guys talking about
That's the
food.
show name. That guy's talking about food.
You know,
that's all it's gonna be.
Ever since we were watching Iron Chef last week, I've just been watching it nonstop on YouTube.
Squeeze on.
Yes, go ahead.
The challenger is having trouble telling his story right now. he's trying to decide between the Chinese chicken wings and bringing hippo loss.
Yes, difficult decision.
Yeah. No, for real, it's good. Very positive, very exciting show.
Yeah.
Everyone's real respectful to one
That's a
another.
little window into our lives that we genuinely spent like 6 hours just watching Iron Chef.
Yeah, and just going,
Oh yeah! Several weeks in a row. I might have. We watch. If you guys don't know, there basically the entirety of the Japanese series Iron Chef the original run is on YouTube.
Well, yeah, like all of
Yeah.
them.
Oh no, that's the list
That's
I've been
the whole
watching.
thing. It's the
Yeah.
whole thing. And they're all really good. So
And it blows me away.
check that shit out.
The drama they create.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great.
So
So
speaking
what was you saying about chicken wings?
so speaking of dramatic stories,
Yeah.
they don't involve chicken wings. I'm sure they did at one point, but
Sure.
I might not remember.
We'll bring it back.
So anyway, this was back in what was it? 2009. This was.
it was 2009.
Sweet son.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was 2009. It was
2009.
2009. It was Labor Day. I had just turned 21 like 3 months prior, and I had started learning around about July or August about the Electric Zoo Music Festival
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
in New York City,
Featuring Moby.
featuring Moby. Well, Moby came around the following year.
Oh, okay. No Moby.
Not featuring Moby.
No Moby. Why are we the B-52s?
Now listen to that Moby song. Go ahead. Sorry.
It's all right.
Well, anyway, so I decided, I had the money. I was 21. I decided, fuck it, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go to New York City, and it wasn't my first time there, but it would be my first time going alone.
Yeah.
That's a big thing to do for like a 21-year-old kid, like
Sure.
having not done something like that before, to just go to New York by yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so of course my dad was obviously super worried about this and
Definitely,
everything.
yeah, definitely,
So I we kept in touch. I would check in with him.
Gulp.
Sorry.
It's all right. Then switch to the not your father's root beer.
Yeah.
That's what he's drinking now.
Twist.
He's still
Yeah.
smoking that cigar, though.
I am kind of.
But he's also drinking. So switching it up here on the Three Dude Podcast.
This is gonna be so excruciating for people listening.
Go ahead.
What was he gonna say?
Electric Dude. Electric Dude. Electric Dude.
The Electric Dude Festival. It's like Burning Man.
You got one for every element. They're just they're Mega Man villains. They're the Mega Man.
The drowning fellow.
Yeah.
Burn it.
And
Yeah.
Mud Guy.
All right, good. So
Sorry.
Electric Zoo.
And also that fucker what has all the wind.
That's funny.
So anyway, I go. I got to check in with my dad. When I'm leaving the festival and everything. My plan was to see all the DJs I could. Stay there. The entire 11 hours for both days. Labor Day weekend. So the first night I take the wrong bus, or the bus takes me in the wrong direction, and I'm lost in Brooklyn.
Okay.
All the signs are in Spanish. All the ads are in Spanish. That was an easy fix. I walked up to a cop and asked, hey, how do I get back to LaGuardia? The hotel there was where I was staying at, and he pointed me in the right direction. So the next day, I was like, all right, I'm smarter than this. I know what I'm doing now. I got this. I got this whole,
Man, it's bad to say that in New York. I have found.
Yeah.
I totally figured out the subway 8 times.
So I looked at some of the other people getting into cabs. I was like, they got the right idea. I'll get a cab. But everyone was lining up for cabs.
Yeah.
So I kept walking up the road. This was on Randall's Island, which is kind of flush up in between Brooklyn, Manhattan, and the Bronx.
Oh wait, hold on. Let me try to place this. So this is like way north in
Yeah.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, it's like right off the tippy top of Harlem.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, but it's its own island, Randall's Island, and so I
Randall's pretty good about it.
Yeah.
Randall takes great care of it.
yeah, good guy that Randall.
Yeah.
So I keep walking, and trying to go down the line, trying to get a cab, and before I know it, I'm like 200 yards away from the festival entrance, and like there's no cabs in sight.
Oh boy.
People are still walking. I'm still walking, and so I don't know what I was thinking about or why this was a good idea, but I eventually ended up walking across the span of the Robert F. Kennedy Bridge.
Oh, wow.
Into like Astoria,
Okay.
like North Brooklyn.
Okay.
Yeah.
And by this time it's coming up on midnight.
Yeah.
And I have to text my dad and say, yeah, everything's fine. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
on my way back to the hotel now. Not technically a lie, so it's
Yeah, sure.
It's good.
Just don't know where the hotel is.
Right. I'm on my way back to the hotel. It just might take me a bit longer than I thought it was going to. So I walk all the way into Astoria and up to an intersection where I finally managed. Well, this cab pulls over for a guy who's about 10 yards in front of me, and so I run up and because I'm like for context, I was fucking scared.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're alone in a city in the middle of
Yeah, in the middle of a humongous place.
This is the first time I'd ever done something like this, and the biggest thing I was scared of was that if my dad ever found out about any of this, he would fucking kill me.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, one does not just go wandering. I mean, you kind of want to know where you are.
Sure.
Yeah.
In a city as crazy as New York.
Yeah, and so I come up to the cab and the cabbie's like, I don't know if you guys have ever caught a cab in New York at night, but like during the day it's all not to offend anyone, but it's all barely intelligible immigrants.
Right, sure.
It's hard to understand
it's an
people,
easy job.
Yeah.
It's an easy job to get if you're just
But the nighttime cabs in New York, people are just like native New Yorkers.
Sure.
Like they speak perfect English, and so the cabbie is this big, very 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 big gentleman who looks at us and says, "All right, who's getting in?"
Yeah.
And this other dude looks at me. He's like, I'm trying to go to a party in the Bronx, and I'm panicking. I didn't want to say hotel, so I said I'm trying to get to the airport.
Yeah.
And so he's like, oh shit, okay, go ahead. So he lets me get in, and
Well, awfully nice of him.
Yeah, right.
Considering you lied.
Yeah.
I semi-lied. I was trying to get to
It's only a half line.
the hotel that's connected to the airport.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that, by the way, the next time I really need a cab is I'm going to the airport. Shuts the door. I'm totally not going to the airport.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't help that I looked like I was like just
Lost
like
it, discombobulated.
yeah. I must have been.
Yeah, sure.
So I get in the cab and the dude starts driving. The destination comes up. They have these monitors in New York City cabs that show you, so the cabbie's not taking you for a ride.
Sure.
Although he is in fact taking you for a ride.
He is quite literally taking you for a
I'm gonna take you for a ride.
It sounds like the challenger is getting into a cab and he has lied about where his destination is going to be, saying it's going to the airport, and that is not his final plan.
Oh boy, we'll have to see how this plays out.
So there's like a minute of silence or two as this other guy kind of fades into the distance, and the cabbie looks at me in the rearview mirror and he says, "Man, thank God you came along. I did not want to go to the fucking Bronx."
That's great.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So it immediately made me feel like a million times better.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I talked to him. He'd been living in New York all his life. We were talking about I said I come from Youngstown. It's this dump in Ohio. And
But it's our dump.
It's
damn
our
it.
dump.
it's our dump.
Yeah.
God damn
It's
it!
our pile
It's
of
our
filth.
big steamy
This is
wet
our
dump.
fucking city.
It's our,
But
It's our fetid hole in the middle of the Northeast.
but it was weird. One part of the conversation, I was kind of, still like really worked up, figuring out, what was I going to tell my dad? And I don't think my dad still like even knows about any of this happening, but
he might after tonight.
He might after tonight. I should talk to him about it at some point and just see what his reaction is.
Yeah, it's all
that'd be hilarious. But the thing about the conversation that stuck out to me was he said he loved New York City. He would never leave it, but it's a city, he said, with a lot of energy and no soul.
Okay.
And the reason why it struck me was because I felt like Youngstown is kind of the opposite of that exactly.
Yeah.
A very weary place with a lot of heart.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That's
no energy, plenty of soul.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's true. That's
a
a
good
really
contrast.
accurate
Dysfunction. Man, you're gonna be great on radio.
It's a very accurate description of where we live.
There's brilliant point.
Check it out, you dingus. But anyway, I had to tell him, I wasn't actually going to the airport. I was going to the hotel, and
right.
I felt bad. He's like, was like, man, don't even worry about it.
Yeah,
Obviously saved him. Yeah.
That's good.
He was real good. And so when I got out, I paid my fare, but I tipped him the rest of what I had in my wallet because I was like,
nice.
I was so grateful.
That's really good. That's really good.
I like
No, that is a really, like, I feel like cab drivers or like cab drivers especially, or Uber drivers, I guess, in this day and age now.
Yeah.
It's a really good place to have one of those moments where you just kind of link up with somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can kind of just shoot the shit for 43 blocks until you get where you need to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
I wish I would have remembered my other favorite cab ride in New York City, which was the next year.
Tell it. I won't hear it.
Well, I can't remember most of it because I was blastedly drunk at the time.
Then you really did get taken for a ride.
I had gone to Electric Zoo the next year with a couple friends of mine, and we had they were going by train back because they lived in Albany. They were going by train, so I was left waiting for a cab. I had like 2 hours to kill before my flight, so I found an Irish pub. Got absolutely hammered, and when the hotel brought my cab, it was like this black Cadillac with like a dude in a suit.
Nice.
This Dominican guy. Really,
nothing makes you feel classier than a man in a suit.
Really cool.
Picking you up.
Yeah, really cool dude. Like I felt like a fucking mob boss. Like he had leather gloves on and everything.
Yeah.
And so, we're going through, and I'm talking to him about, so where do you come from? What brought you to New York and all this, and about halfway through I realize I have got to piss worse than I've ever had to piss in my life.
Right.
And this is a big part of the reason why I can't remember most of the conversation is because the whole time, like, it was painful. It genuinely hurt.
Been there. Yep.
Like I could feel it like pushing against my other organs, and. So by the time I got to the airport, I just threw a couple 20s at him. I ran, I bolted into the airport, ran right up to a security guard, and I said, I don't have my boarding pass, but I've really got to get into that bathroom over there, and I've really got to piss. And it was like a good 3 or 4. It felt like a fucking hour. 3 or 4 seconds of silence. She's just like looking at me, and she's just like, go ahead.
Because what are you going to say?
Yeah, right.
Are you going to deny somebody? It's like, well, no, we have to go through the proper... Like, fuck you, lady.
You help me now, or I'm pissing on your shoes.
Right, exactly. Right.
So yeah, take it from me. Don't get drunk before you get on in a cab in New York City, because you don't know how long it's going to take.
That is great advice. Yeah, no, that's those are great.
Yeah, that's a real people story.
That is a great moment of connection and an almost moment of connection.
I'm sure if I had remembered it, the second one, it would have been a great moment of connection.
Well, I think the moment of connection in the second story is when you went into the airport and talked to the security guard. That's the connection.
Is there any more human moment?
Because she's looking at you like,
yes.
You know what? Okay, yeah, all right.
Here's this this drunk raver who's
Right.
bolting in,
Yeah.
desperate for a John.
Yeah, right. Exactly. No, that counts. I think that counts.
Oh gosh.
Right. So, Drog, I guess this is
Yes.
up to you.
Yeah, you know what?
You said you weren't sure about this one.
Yeah, I'm
but,
not sure. Okay, so I'm not sure if I got a good one at all.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that it's necessarily a long story.
Doesn't matter.
And it's not even really involving a stranger.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be a stranger.
Okay.
That's the thing. This is just a moment of intense connection between you and another human being.
Okay.
Could be I fell in love for the first time. Could
Yeah.
be I fell in love with a dog the first time.
Yeah. Okay. So
Could
yeah.
be,
Well, except it's called human connection.
Sure, well, there you go.
right.
Human connection. Could be I killed the mailman and the 10-year-old kid saw me and now we're buddies.
That happened.
Whatever.
I don't want to tell them.
And that's how In the Air Tonight was written.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta kill the mailman and find him at a concert later.
Hey,
hey.
it happens.
Yeah.
Gosh, I
He
have
was there and he saw what you did.
I have so many. Oh boy. Okay, so I'm gonna tell one. Gosh, I have a lot of options. I'm gonna probably pick the wrong one. But okay,
Well,
so
that's the thing. We all have, I'm sure, many moments of like connect or disconnect. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
We're talking about disconnect here. So
yeah, so I'll start this by saying that where I work in Akron, I'm in
Akron, Ohio,
lovely
home of the Akron Zips.
Yeah, right. What are they? A kangaroo
They're
or
a
something?
kangaroo, home
Yeah.
of the Akron marsupials.
God, I just think it's so dumb. But whatever.
It is really dumb. There's no fucking marsupials in Ohio.
But we have a penguin
Or in baseball, for that
Youngstown.
There's no penguins in Youngstown.
we have a goddamn penguin, so what am I gonna say?
What is this? The Browns.
Yeah, right.
We're named after the color brown.
Yeah.
not true.
Well, don't forget Brownie.
That's not
That
true.
stupid little.
Brownie? Who the
Yeah,
fuck is Brownie?
He's a little
elf. Is
that guy. His name's Brownie?
His name's Brownie.
Man, I'm glad I stopped watching pro football.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, a brownie is like a Spriggan or a Sprite.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I did not know that.
Okay, so where
So
I
go
work
ahead.
in Akron.
Akron, Ohio.
Shitty old Akron, Ohio, which I come to both love and detest more and more every day I'm there. So where my building is positioned, I'm in this building. It's like a pretty large building in Akron. It's the First Energy building, where First Energy, of course, supplies all the electric for a whole bunch of different areas around here and all that.
Sure.
And we're basically at the corner of Main and Market in Akron, so we're like kind of a relatively central place, although we're really far up the strip.
Yeah.
But what that also means is that we're in between. We're up by the courthouse, so you get a lot of foot traffic, and you get a lot of very strange people.
Sure.
And invariably, all of them smoke.
Akron.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. But all of them smoke.
Yeah.
That's what I've realized. Every single one of them smokes.
It's important to note that Northeast Ohio has one of the largest smokers per capita. You know what I mean? Like
No
in
shit.
the country. Seriously, in the country. Yeah. Seriously.
I learned that years ago when a focus group came and they wanted. I can't remember how I got
a lot of
involved in a focus
smokers.
group.
A lot of smokers in this
It
area.
was when one of the big cigarette companies rebranded themselves to something that sounded like yeah, right. Yeah, instead of like a
Not emphysema.
Death Corp Smoke
Yeah,
Co.
yeah.
changed its name to like Fruity Pebbles or
Sex fog.
Cancer vials to 10-year-olds. I learned that when I went to California for the first time because smokers, they look down at you in California.
I'm sure
if
they
you're a
do.
Smoker.
I bet.
People, do not like you.
Like on the coast, I feel like of the U.S. is where there's a lot of like health conscious like.
I never had a lot of trouble in New York City though. New York City's a city that's still kind of like whatever.
New York City is largely a refuse pile of
New Yorkers just
humanity.
want you to leave them alone.
Exactly.
And nothing to do there.
Like most of us, really. New Yorkers are just a little bit more like serious about it when you come to their neck of the woods.
Do whatever, but don't look at me.
Exactly. Yeah, sure. Which is what we all want, really. I think.
I think so too.
Don't stand in the middle of the sidewalk.
So what I found is not only do all these people that walk up and down the street, and a lot of people are just ordinary nice folks. There's also just a lot of like just crazy people,
Wackos.
Yeah, and I seem to attract them all, and I haven't quite figured out the formula for this yet. I'm not sure what it is. I don't know if it's the fact that I look and smile at people.
Sure. You gotta stop doing that.
I gotta stop doing it right now.
Yeah, you got a very non-threatening demeanor.
Yeah,
You do. You gotta
smiling
fix that
fat
shit.
guy
furrow your brow.
Yeah, right.
Get grilled grumpy.
I can't even pretend to be
It just looks like you got something up your nose.
You gotta stamp a permanent fuck off on the top of your forehead and just
We
keep
just
it
carve a swastika into my head and they'll leave me alone. I'm sorry.
there. Do it. No, it's all right.
Oh God, what's going on?
Oh God, it's failing. No. Oh God.
No, but you go ahead. You're,
Yeah, so that's the thing is that not only do all of those people smoke cigarettes, and I mean all of them, but none of them have cigarettes. Right? It's amazing.
like most smokers, you're always asking for
With the regularity with which they smoke cigarettes, but don't have any.
Kind of like how the milkshake machine's always broken at McDonald's.
Yeah, right, exactly. Well, at least, 15 to 30 minutes before closing. That I found as part of the formula. But anyway, so this story might backfire and make me look like an asshole. I don't know. We'll see. So this guy comes up to me, right? There's a dude I've never seen before. And he's telling me, hey man, do you have any change for the bus? Now, if I had change for the bus, I probably would have given the guy change for the bus.
Sure.
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But just this guy seemed
Like a nice guy.
nice enough and non-threatening, and also looked really sad, which kind of threw me off. Right?
Sure.
It wasn't that he was down on his luck sad. He looked like he was gonna cry.
Yeah.
So I said, I don't. Sorry. And he pulls this bus schedule out of his pocket. And he goes, I'm trying to get to Cleveland. And I said, okay, what's going on in Cleveland? This dude tells me, and I couldn't believe it. I was just so taken aback. I was so shocked and so sad for this guy.
Yeah.
He tells me today in Cleveland, my son got hit by a car.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Right? So I'm completely just
Floored,
whatever
yeah.
exterior I had just melted away.
Yeah, sure.
Because when someone tells you something like that, you just
Unless you're an insane person.
yeah, right. Unless you're
What are you
a
gonna say?
sociopath, you go, Jesus Christ, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, right.
So he's telling me about this, and he says, it was his ex-wife was driving them, and they got hit. The son is dead, and the ex-wife is in the hospital. Is what he tells me.
Yeah.
And I tell him, man, I'm sorry, I don't have anything. I'm really sorry. I really hope you find yourself, a way there. And I kind of pat him on the arm, and I tell him, good luck, and I'm sorry. And I go into the office, and I lose 10 minutes or something, just sitting there thinking, just God, how fucking sad this is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So don't see the guy again
Sure.
for another 3 months.
Okay.
Once again, I'm outside in front of the building, smoking, same place. I see this guy come up to me, and of course I remember him.
Yeah.
Sure. How can you forget that?
I regularly forget people, but I didn't forget this guy.
Yeah. No. That would be.
It was a combination of that story and the fact that he just had some really unique features.
Sure.
So
He had
comes
a
up-
thumb coming out of his foot.
yeah, right.
There's a
Yeah.
weird second penis hanging from his earlobe.
He said hombre before everything he said. Yeah, and he was white. That was weird.
and he was
I don't
white,
know.
yeah.
Anyway.
Hombre! Hey, my son is gone, and
I'm trying to make like a penis ear joke, but all that comes to mind
Like
is
urethra?
yeah.
all that comes to mind is here it comes.
That's good. That's good. I'll give you that one.
Yeah,
I'll
it's
give you that
good.
one.
It's
Yeah.
unsettling, but it's good.
Once you go black, you're gonna need a hearing aid.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
All right.
Go ahead.
So
you see this guy?
So what happens? What happens? I'm standing there. I see him. He's coming down the street. I'm going, oh my God. I wonder what happened with this guy. And he comes up to me and he says, hey man, do you have change for the bus? And I went, what?
Yeah.
I know. And you know what?
God
Before
damn
I
it.
tell the rest of this story, if someone asks you for bus change and you have it, give it to them.
Give it to 'em, right.
Give it to them.
Yeah.
Most people aren't fucking with you.
Sure.
Most people, honest to God, need change for the bus or maybe something to eat.
Yeah.
Or maybe, maybe a little bottle of booze. Fuck
Right.
it, whatever. They got a tough thing going on and they want some booze. I can understand that.
Sure.
I'm
Yeah,
probably going to drink tonight.
what's 75 cents?
My thing,
Sure.
my thing is don't lie to me. That's
Yeah,
always
sure.
my thing. If
Well,
you're gonna
yes.
hey, I don't have a bed to sleep in tonight. I want to go buy a bottle of liquor and drink myself to sleep.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I want to make
What do you
double and a
want?
tall boy.
Yeah. What do
Good.
you want? Let's go pick it out. I will go with you to the store and buy it for you.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I respond to that as well. I
Yeah.
respond to just someone saying, hey, I'm hungry, or, I need something to eat.
Let's
drink.
go pick it out. I'll buy it for you, whatever you want. If
Yeah.
I can buy it, I'll buy it.
Hell,
If they say no, then something's up.
Sure, exactly. That's the
course,
thing.
but-
If you know.
So that's what I mean. I want to be very clear in telling this story. This is not so that everyone goes, I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it. I knew it. No, I don't want that reaction out of this. Because this guy was a very special kind of unique.
Yeah.
Or a unique kind of special, or whatever I meant to say. He's definitely
a kind of unique special.
He's
A certain je ne sais quoi.
he's a singularity. This guy, and he asked me for change for the bus, and I go, no. And this time I'm lying. I don't have any money, but I'm waiting to see what he says next. He pulls the same bus schedule out of his pocket. This is like 4 months after the fact, 3 or 4 months, and he says, "Man, my son
Same car.
got hit by a car in Cleveland today." And I let him keep talking for a second.
Mm-hmm.
And after he's told me just a bit more, I go, don't I know you? And his eye, I've never seen someone's eyes shoot
Yeah.
wider open faster. And he goes, and I said, didn't you tell me this story 3 months ago?
Yeah.
And I never call people on their bullshit.
Sure.
I never.
I know. Yeah, I know. Like
I always will be like,
for
"Wow,
those of
gosh,
you
I'm
in
so sorry."
podcast land, Dave is not that guy.
No, I'm
At
not
all.
that guy
at all.
I would
At
have
all.
gladly. I would have been happy to sit there and go, "I'm so sorry," and just walk away. And instead, I said, "Didn't you tell me this story 3 months ago?"
No.
And he goes, "No, that wasn't me." And his eyes are huge.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's just like, which is the thing is this guy lies clearly with regularity, but for some reason, someone actually saying something about it, he
Caught him
seems
off guard.
surprised.
Caught him off guard. Yeah.
Well, it's such a huge, bustling metropolis like Akron. I mean, what are the odds that...
What are the odds?
Wow.
Walking past the same spot and seeing the same person? It's crazy. So, basically, I don't get him to admit to anything, and I'm not going to push him any further.
Sure.
Because it's
Right.
not going to help anything.
Just kind of like I know that you know that I know.
Yes.
You know what
So
I
I
mean?
dropped it at, I think you told me this story a few months ago, and he goes, no. And then there's a little pause, and then he starts into the spiel again. Like he's never, yeah, right? Like
Doesn't have a backup.
no, he has no backup.
Well, and that's the thing. This guy he's either scamming you or he could just really need help.
Right.
Like that's my point. Tell me the truth.
Yeah, exactly.
Tell me the truth. I just want to know the truth. I'm not going to look down at my nose at you.
Yeah.
I just want to know that you're telling me the truth about something like that.
This is what bugged me the most about it is I went in so hard on the first story.
Yeah,
I
that
was
would
so with this guy.
That would piss you off.
And I guess on some level, if I was a better person, I would have gone into the building, went to the ATM, got $20, and gave it to the guy.
Sure.
That's what I should have done the first time, but I'm glad I didn't.
It's one of two outcomes. It's clearly you're coming up with this ruse because you need the money more than I do,
Right?
or I'm just trying to get as much money out of everybody as I can. It's one of those two things.
Right. So, anyways, the conclusion of this, he goes on his way. I pat him on his back. I say, sorry for your loss.
Yeah.
Don't see him again. There is a small addendum to this story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is after the first time I saw him, I went in to the building and I was going up to the office. I stopped to talk to the security guard who I talk to sometimes. I say, man, I heard the saddest story. Right? I tell him a little bit about this guy. And I go, man, it's just, whatever. And then I go upstairs, I do my work, whatever. The second time I see the guy, I go in, the security guard's
Same
there,
security.
and I go, man, you are not going to believe this. Because I told him about the first one. So I said, the guy, he told me the same story. The kicker is he says, what does he look like?
Oh my God!
So the security guard, in an unrelated event, all the way up Main Street at a different location, in between the two events, saw a guy
Get out of
who
here.
had a bus schedule, who asked him for change.
no.
And I said, the dude with he's got the angular nose, eyes are a little bit close together. He calls everyone hombre. It's really weird. Yeah, so anyway.
Hombre, thumb out of his head.
He's got a penis in his ear. Yes, go ahead.
It seems like the challenger has a thumb coming out of his forehead and a penis in see here.
Oh, wow, that's going to be a huge impediment in the
Wow,
kitchen.
that's going to taste really good with the squiding pasta.
As is typically the fashion in southern France. Penis dangling from the ear.
So that's the end of the story. Security
you're
guard
married.
saw the same guy at a different location.
You had 2 separate connections in that story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how about that? I double stacked it.
Double stacked it.
See, I'm already laying up this formula.
Layers.
Layers on layers on layers
On layers.
on layers.
So that story leads me into one more story.
Okay, let's hear it.
Bringing up traveling and scheduling made me think of this one thing that I actually kind of want to write a story about this at some point because it was such a huge thing.
Yeah.
And it was really cool. Drew, friend of ours, Drew Kensinger. I don't know if you're
Berry.
listening or not.
Drew Berry.
We used to go to Starbucks and sit out and drink coffee and shoot the shit. Mm-hmm. And we were on Route 46 here in Ohio. On a main road, it's like a big, freeway exchange where there's lots of hotels and a couple restaurants and some gas stations.
A couple of strip bars.
Yeah. So it's this big hub around here of people coming off the freeway or traveling,
Yeah. You might call it a travel center.
if you will.
You might call it, I don't know, some kind of place where trucks stop at.
Yeah, like a.
It's a place where the trucks don't drive. They stop.
like a lorry halt.
By crikey, I think he's got it, Governor.
But no, we're sitting there, we're drinking our coffee, we're smoking cigarettes, we're shooting the shit, and these 3 mangy looking, just the scummiest looking, not like personally, but outwardly, they look very dirty. These 3 guys walk up and they are just the dirtiest looking human beings you've ever seen.
Filthy, scraggly.
Holes in the shirts. I mean, they are like the the Dean Martin trailer for sale or rent. The bummiest, the homo-iest looking guys you ever seen in your life, and they're young.
Sure.
They even have a stick with a bag on it over their shoulder.
They had backpacks.
Oh, okay, close enough.
But they were young. They were young dudes, and they were just these dirty looking kids. And they came up to us outside the Starbucks, and the one who I'm gonna just deem as the leader, because he was the one who
Because
did.
they're clearly a pack of
They
humans.
were, yeah. There was the one who did most of the talking, who kind of spoke for the rest of the group.
Yeah.
The one Arnold Schwarzenegger ends up taking his clothes from.
Yeah, right, exactly. He actually kind of looked like long blonde, scraggly hair, dirty, hasn't showered clearly in months.
Okay.
And he comes up to us, and we're like, "Hey guys, what's going on?" Because I'm usually pretty open about meeting people, and we're like, "Hey guys, what's going on?" And this guy is like, "Hey man, do you guys have $5 we can borrow? We are so homeless."
Wait.
I swear to God, he said we are so homeless. That's how he introduced the conversation.
Oh, man.
But he was not sad about it, and I'm like,
Oh, man.
I'm like, yeah, dude, actually, and
Yeah.
Drew gave him something, I gave him something.
You did the right thing, because when someone has to be like, listen, I thought
But he
before
was
we were
like-
homeless,
but which-
we are really homeless
What
now.
struck me about this guy is that he wasn't a sad homeless person. When you see a sad homeless person, these guys were not sad. They looked like they were just fine.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. If someone's, if someone like Dead Sun Guy is
Dead Sun Guy.
Dead Sun Guy.
As he's known in Akron.
if someone like that's giving,
Hey, hombre.
Hombre, my son's dead. Hand me that wallet.
on a completely unrelated note, I'm having a barbecue at my place later on. But if someone like that's feeding you a line, they're gonna be as they're harried and distraught.
Sure.
Come on, give me money. This is
Help me.
urgent.
It's also sometimes the more details are more damning.
Sure.
But
This guy couldn't have been more relaxed.
it's so much more straightforward and endearing to just come up and be like, man, I'm homeless.
Yeah.
You want to give me $5?
Yeah, that's what but he was he said it with an air of, I don't care if you give it to me or not.
Right.
It was just whatever, So we gave him,
did the right thing.
little bit of cash we had in our wallet, and they sat down on the seats next to us, and kept fidgety, standing back up, and they were talking to us.
Yeah.
And we're Drew was the one who asked, hey, where you guys from? And we started talking. Turns out these guys are actual living vagabonds. Like,
Oh, yeah.
like train hoppers.
Homeless by choice.
Off the grid, motherfuckers.
Homeless by choice.
Wow.
Train hoppers.
Yeah.
Like they hop trains.
That's
And-
crazy.
And
That's
we
cool as
talked
hell.
with these guys for like an hour and a half about this. And they had, like, I'm talking like, and I didn't have them, I was pissed because I thought I usually have an extra pair of shoes in my car from like cutting the grass at my aunt's house or whatever. I didn't have anything on me, but they had like holes in their shoes and I was trying to be, find something. I didn't have anything. But we
Yeah.
talked with these guys for like an hour and a half about what their lives and what they did. And these guys are homeless by choice. They left home. And
Yeah.
they just decided to live off the grid.
Yeah.
And they hop trains and go all around the country. And
so cool.
without getting into specifics, these guys have been all around the country, and one of them has been over to London from hopping a ship. Like
What?
sto-
Badass.
stowed away in a cargo container. Had a friend who
Like some Born Identity type shit.
right, lived in London, hopped a ship over, met up with them. These guys had been together. Like the one of them was the newcomer, and he'd been with the group, the three of them, for 9 months. And I guess there's like a community of these guys,
Yeah.
who like know each other and meet up with each other at different stops. And
so crazy.
the reason they were where they were at in Youngstown, Ohio, is because they got tossed off the train station, which is right down the road from 46, right up there. Somebody caught them on the train. There's a main train intersection way far down the road past the freeway towards Niles, Ohio.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So they got tossed off the train, but because there's literally guards at train stations who catch these people.
They were like,
Yeah.
because there's enough people in the world who do this.
Some things don't change in 80 years.
Exactly. So these guys got tossed off the train and they just walked up to the nearest intersection, found the first people they could.
All right, laddie, show's over. This
Right.
is your stop.
But they stopped and they talked with us. And
Move along now.
They were so nice and they were like so happy to have people who weren't like, no, get away from me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we talked with them, and the one pulled out of his backpack because we were just talking. He showed me this map. It was actually printed by a vagabond.
Yeah.
Because I can't remember what it was titled, but it was this booklet that was like hand printed that has gone into circulation for
I
amongst
know
these
what you're
guys.
talking about.
Yeah.
I can't remember the title of it.
But it's this guide of every major train station in the country.
Yeah.
Wow.
Where they all link to, where each of the lines go, and time schedules. And he had a recent edition of it, and he showed me this. He's like, please don't do anything with this. This is really important. Not everybody has this. But it's like, it was this booklet of like,
That's
incredible, right?
the idea that there's this underground like a hidden culture
of people.
in our country.
It was so amazing to me.
I have my idea for my episode right now.
Good.
You
See?
just gave me something. I'm just going to say, I'll tease it and maybe we'll never do it. I know a guy who does this kind of thing.
Seriously.
Ooh.
And I think it might be, don't get too excited, but we'll see if he's willing to talk.
Okay.
Because I think it could be a really cool conversation.
Okay, cool.
That would be
That's
sweet.
good. But yeah, these guys, and there was the one who is like the leader. There was the new kid who is younger than the other two, obviously, and would just like kind of like a hype man, kind of like help feed what the leader was talking about, and they told us stories about getting separated and coming back together in different parts of the country, and
That's so strange
and then there
to
was
me.
the other guy who had clearly been at this for a long time too. Might have been a little older than the other two, but he was very quiet and he only interjected at certain points. And one of the funniest things is like we're like 45 minutes into this conversation and we're talking, and this guy, the quiet guy in the back, goes, "Hey, do you guys have any weed?" No, man, sorry. But we gave them the money we gave them what money we had, and they were like, "All right, see ya," and they like walked off down the road.
Yeah.
And that was, I just fucking remember this. It was such a cool like bonding moment among these people who are just completely different.
Yeah.
From the life I live is such a normal life compared to what these guys do every single day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just,
I don't know. I like having the internet and video games and beer.
sure.
Yeah. But the thing is,
These guys sleep under the stars every night, and
what they're doing is making a trade. That's what's interesting to me. Is they're making a decision. I'm going to trade security, routine, and a lot of comforts, and what I'm going to get is an adventure.
Yeah.
Who the hell really gets to live that way?
Sure.
I mean, you couldn't right now just pick up and just do it.
I'm very curious what the end of that story is.
You could, but it's like you gotta be damn sure.
We would overthink it. We would try and plan it. These guys just one day decided, I'm going to leave my family and I'm going to go do this thing.
Yeah.
And they did it.
Yeah, and they had a bit of life that is so unlike everyone else's.
In the modern age, how fucking crazy is that?
I mean, anymore they made it so hard to.
These guys might not know who the president is.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
they
don't give a fuck.
They don't care.
I don't blame them.
They're not paying taxes.
They're off the grid. What does it matter?
Right,
Yeah.
right, exactly. So it's just that was on a different vein. That was a weird.
I connected with these guys.
Yeah, they're really cool. And if Drew's out there listening to this, you probably remember way more than I do about this. But it was such a cool experience to meet these people who live so differently than you do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow, amazing.
I think we just concluded successfully our first topic of discussion on
Yeah,
that
right,
podcast.
yeah, all right.
That was
That's
really
pretty decent round table.
That was good. That was a really good thing. Should we take a pause and then we'll go into the final segments and close out?
What we learned, recommendations.
Yeah, let's take a pause and then we'll be right back with the end of the show.
Woo!
Welcome back to the Phantom Premise.
Yes. Yes. Three dudes.
Episode
discuss
1, the Phantom Premise.
Phantom premise. It's really that's really has been the story of
Yeah,
this.
we kind of.
So all right, what are we doing?
I just want to say,
What's this about?
for the first episode, this has gone way better than I.
Yeah, I'm having fun
I
doing
knew
this.
this was going to be fun, and I knew this was
Yeah.
going to be good, but this has gone way better than I thought.
Yeah.
And at the very least, if the three of us get any enjoyment out of it, that's good enough for me.
That is at the very most what
That
is
is
going
why.
to happen.
What's the thing? This is if anybody else is listening to this, this is not. We don't give a shit what
That's
you
bonus.
think.
That's
This is
bonus.
not for you.
I mean, although don't get us wrong, we desperately care what you think.
Please
accept us.
Accept us.
Love us.
Listen to the show.
Oh, God, I get all of my self-worth out of those sweet, sweet view counts, baby.
Listener counts. Listener counts
Listener.
now.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
listener.
Ooh, it's listener counts.
Well, they
from
can
this
watch
one.
it too, I guess.
If you pledge $50 on our Patreon, you will have the privilege of giving us each a blowjob.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a weird Patreon.
That's a great privilege.
you know what? I'm not even. I'll definitely blow someone for that
My
$50
weird
on
half
Patreon.
shriveled avocado penis. All right.
Yeah, wow.
Hi,
We're
Mom.
getting ahead of ourselves.
Anyway,
It's
So-
time for.
The last. Wow.
Sorry.
Whoa. That was
This is-
echoey.
this is a real echoey room.
This is a really good recording space for this because it's we're in the corner. We're kind of backed into the bar.
Yeah.
We're gonna try and take a picture of this so we we have it preserved.
yeah.
Maybe we can work that into the cover art.
Selfie time.
Selfie time.
No, that's it. Yeah, definitely. We'll figure this all out in marketing this thing.
So we're on our last portion of the show, which is going to come down to the finality.
The finality of it.
The finality of the final.
It's really finalish.
I have no idea where I'm going with this, but
We're wrapping up. We're winding down. We're
Cooling our jets.
burning it off.
Putting a cap on it.
We're nipping it in the bud.
Tying it up.
We're bundling that bow.
We're shoving it off to sea.
We're kicking it right in the nuts.
Putting a bow on it.
spreading the ashes.
That's more like it.
Don't need it. We're spreading the ashes.
What's this? Big, all right. Big Lebowski fans
Things
out
that
there.
don't work on a recording.
Yeah, the glasses.
Dramatic taking off your glasses.
What's this? No. So we're gonna wrap it up.
in the air.
We're gonna wrap it up with our final two segments.
Yeah.
The first of which is recommendations, where we will recommend to you and each other.
Yes.
What anything, could be anything at all.
Something to
whatever we
do,
decide.
something to see, something to listen to, something
Exactly.
to think about, someone to talk to, a meditation to keep in your head,
Anything.
a little cheer to hold in your heart,
Aw,
someone to hug.
it's very 1800s Christmassy.
Yeah, we're gonna name one person that you should hug this week.
One
just to
person.
freak him out.
Yep, do it. So yeah, recommendations. This week, if you guys are anybody's friends with me on Facebook, you know that I post at least once a week an album of the day kind of thing. Usually on Tuesdays because that's the one day I have off.
Often even more than that.
A couple times a week.
Yeah.
I'll sit down and listen to some music. And for those of you who know me, I'm a pretty avid record collector. I have several hundred LPs, like vinyl records. 200, maybe 250 vinyl LPs, 400 or 500 CDs. 100 or so cassette tapes, and like a dozen 8 tracks. I have a lot of music.
Yeah, the problem is that they're all the Bangles.
No, I have this. Oh God, what just hit me?
No.
Oh Jesus!
Oh, Jesus. All right.
Something painful there.
That sounds good.
That's probably fine on
sign.
your grandfather's bar.
That's a sign I keep under the bar because it says billiards, no women, no minors.
Yeah.
So I keep it under the bar.
Like minors, like minors,
or like minors, like a guy with a hat. on.
The headlamp really distracts the bartender.
Yes. I can't make you drink when you're shining out of my eyes.
Damn it!
God, how am I supposed to make a Manhattan like this?
Well, I'm sorry now. I'm just a coal mining man making an honest living.
Mind your coal somewhere else, dickweed.
But recommendations. So I have a very large music collection. Digitally on physical format, I have somewhere in the ballpark of probably like 700 albums.
Yeah, your sweet spot's vinyl.
Yeah, my sweet spot's vinyl. I'm
Yeah.
a big vinyl collector. I think there's nothing like it. Like listening to it if you have a good set of speakers, a good receiver, and a decent turntable. And some good
Absolutely.
albums.
Plus,
And
it
I-
spins.
And it spins.
And it spins. And I think you sold me on the vinyl sounds better thing when we listened to. Oh gosh, what was it that we listened to? It was a few weeks ago.
Well, we listened to OK Computer that night. That was a really that was a good
It's good
listen.
on Radiohead, yeah.
It might have been Supertramp or The Doors.
Oh, The Doors,
We
yeah.
did listen to the Doors one. Yeah.
And it just everything comes through. You're right. Without compression,
It's an uncompressed format.
Yeah.
It is basically a direct rip from the reels.
Did we also listen to Nas?
We did listen to Nas. We listened to Illmatic. One of my
That's
favorite.
right. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I listened to one of my. It was basically my favorite album.
There's a lot of
ever.
subtle things happening on that album.
It's like you hear the bass lines for the first
Sure,
time.
exactly. Yeah, it's a very uncompressed. Everything's very rich in details, particularly if you have good speakers.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about like vinyl for me is that I have records in my collection sitting on my shelf. Because I have a record shelf. I'm more pretentious than you are.
I don't want to brag, but
I
have a record
I'm
shelf.
more pretentious than you are. I have a big stereo
I
and
have nicer things.
yeah. But no, I have albums in my collection that you are not going to find anywhere else.
Sure.
And anybody listening to this know who Glass Harp is?
Oh yeah, that's the thing.
That is a very local Youngstowny thing.
Yeah, people here would know more about it, but beyond, probably almost unknown.
I have a couple Glass Harp records, and I have one Phil Keaggy record.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of stuff that you're not going to find on Spotify.
Yeah.
And it's just music that would be lost to history without that. So I'm really excited about that.
What are you chuckling at? I know you have something.
I just remembered the fact that our local celebrity weatherman Stan Boney once cut an album, and it exists on vinyl to
It's
this
like,
day.
keep your chin up, Youngstown, or something like that.
Hey, I don't want to shit on the guy for doing a nice positive thing, but it's kind of silly.
It's corny.
Yeah,
it's corny as all
corny,
hell. and
yeah.
I'm sure he knows that. But Stan Boney, great guy.
Yeah, been around forever.
Boney.
Barney.
Leave me alone.
Yeah. I don't want none of your baloney. But yeah, I'm a big record guy and a big music guy, more importantly. I just love listening to new music.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love listening to old music. My record of the day today was Jay Dilla's Donuts. For any of you hip-hop fans out there.
Yes.
So good.
It is an instrumental record that was released 3 days before the man himself died.
Was it only 3 days?
3 days before
Wow.
he died. Yeah, it came out 3 days before he
God, it's
died.
like a Bowie and Black Star situation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it is considered like in the hip hop community to be like a monumental record. It's a huge, and it's all the thing is it's all instrumental. It's a beats record. It's basically just a mix up record
Right.
of this guy and 20 or so solid beats. You know what I mean?
It's also really thematic, which is
It
cool
is
to me.
really
Yeah. They're short songs too. There's nothing on there, I think, with the exception of Last Donut of the Night, that's over 2 minutes long.
Right, yeah, they're all
They're-
really quick samples of like just
when Brian Eno was hired to do the Windows 95 startup theme.
Yeah, right.
He said like for a while after he would just make like 7 or 8 second long songs. He said they were like it's like making little gems, you know?
Right. Yeah. I mean, and that's basically what most beat production is. I think is just making quick little snippets that you turn into 4-minute tracks. With,
Yeah,
you know.
you want something so interesting, so compelling, and so simple that it can be reused and extended.
Sure.
Becomes the tapestry on top of which something else is built.
And that is Donuts. I mean, that whole
really
album
is.
is
Absolutely.
So, because of you, Dave, I got that. It was my birthday present. My birthday was a couple weeks ago, and Dave bought me donuts on wax.
Turns 48.
Yeah, 48 years old. I sound younger. But no, I got donuts on wax, and my recommendation for everybody this week.
Oh yeah.
Especially particularly you hip hop fans who will get it a little more. Listen to Jay Dilla's Donuts if you have not. And if you have, and you have the ways and means to do so, try and listen to it on wax. Because, and Dave, you wanted me to tell you.
Yeah, I want to know what it sounds like.
It is very incredible. My biggest thing with vinyl is I hear snare hits.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And bass lines a lot more clearly.
Those are the extreme ends of the frequency
correct.
spectrum.
Yeah,
Stuff that gets crunched out in compression.
Exactly. So your snare hits are very clean, especially on Dilla, because there's a lot of stuff on Donuts is really sonic.
Yeah.
And it's these short little 2-second loops thrown into the beat, and there's this really like weird spacey sonic kind of vibe that goes with it. So the high end is very good. Your snare hits are really clean on that, and the bass lines are the high end of the bass lines comes through really nicely.
Nice.
And it sounds really good in particular on wax, on a good set of speakers and a good receiver. So if you haven't listened to Donuts yet, do it. If you like the album, if you listened to it already, and you can, try and get it on wax because it's a really good thing to do.
Solid.
Yeah.
That's a great recommendation.
Thank you.
I like that. I want to hear it on wax.
It's good. I'll bring it over sometime.
Yeah,
We'll listen to it.
next time
really
you come
good.
over here, bring
It's
it.
a great album.
Yeah. So listen to that thing again. What do you got, Slammy?
Well, okay. I'm not even joking about this.
Okay.
I recommend Iron Chef.
Oh, yeah.
Now, and I have very good reasons for it beyond just like because we're guys who really like food.
Yeah,
of course.
I wouldn't even say just like food, but fetishize it.
I have
We are really, really into food.
Oh, for sure.
It's embarrassing.
I would fuck a burrito, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't see why not.
Put a little bit of my own sour cream into that.
Oh God!
You know what I did? I took some Easter ham in a pot and I fried it with some oil, and then I'm like, fuck it. I was gonna make a sandwich originally, and I'm like, oh, this looks good, but what would be better is if I threw some sauteed onions in there, and I cut up an onion and I put that in there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? It's still breakfast time, so I cracked a couple of eggs in the pan with the ham and onions.
Yeah.
And I scrambled it and ate it together. Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking.
Yeah.
Oh.
I like how near the scrambling motion was to your crotch.
Right,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, scramble the eggs with my dick.
Whip up these eggs with my
Scrambled
dick.
fucking eggs.
Cock in your eggs.
Have some eggs Benedict. These eggs have Benedict.
Ben witnessed me eat a half a pound of bacon and about 5 eggs last night.
Half a pound of bacon.
It was a half a pound
I
of
could
bacon.
eat a whole pound of bacon.
It was like 7
thick cut
pieces
bacon.
of bacon.
Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, right in your ass.
Anyway, your story.
So
Oh, no. Go ahead.
So obviously I don't know if bacon's ever been featured on Iron Chef. I would hope that it is, but
It is actually. I think I remember that episode.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
But so I was talking not too long ago to one of my friends on the internet about Iron Chef, and it got brought up. Shit like Hell's Kitchen and stuff like that. I think I actually mentioned to you, Dave, the episode of Archer featuring Anthony Bourdain where they're on a reality show called Asshole Chef.
Right. Yeah.
But it's like such a stark contrast because it's like it's reality TV that still has kind of the pretense of being real.
Right.
You get.
You suspend your disbelief.
Yeah,
and
it's-
you can do it more easily.
It's an hour of cooking, maybe even more than that,
Yeah.
condensed into like 30 to 40 minutes of airtime.
Yeah.
You know?
And some episodes have a little bit of dramatic flair if things are kind of stagey. A little
Memory
bit.
serves.
Yeah.
If memory serves me right.
Episodes.
But what's different about Iron Chef is the positivity of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
very
There's
positive.
such a respect for the people they bring on. They really tout these challengers
For sure.
as being like the best of the best.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, no matter who wins, they smile, they shake hands, they congratulate one another.
Yeah, it's sportsmanlike.
It's all about, at the end of it all, it's all about the love of food.
And that wouldn't
Yeah.
mean as much as if the cooking, they give them, if you never watched Iron Chef, they give them an hour to, they
Yeah.
pick an ingredient, the chairman picks an ingredient, and they don't know what the ingredient is.
They make whatever dishes they
and they
want
make
to
whatever
incorporate.
dishes they
Right.
want in an hour. So it's very frantic for the center of the show.
Yeah, and like they've got like other chefs helping them out.
Sure,
you know,
it's sous chefs, yeah.
One man can't prepare 4 dishes in an hour.
Sure.
Right, but you're right. The attitude of it is so much. I'm pretty sure that the host of Iron Chef never called anybody a cunt on the show.
Sure.
I'm pretty
not.
sure.
Yeah.
I never remember him calling it.
Squeeze on. Yes, go ahead.
The Iron Chef China is acting like a real cunt right now.
Oh, yes, we'll have to keep an eye on that.
What happened?
I have to introduce that. There's like if you never watched Iron Chef Japan, there's the main
commentary team.
The commentary team. The guy's name is Fukui-san.
Fukui-san.
So and there's a guy on the floor who talks to the chef, and he always
Yeah,
interrupts him.
Shinichiro Ota.
Yeah. He goes Fukui-san.
Yeah. Yes.
It's,
Go ahead.
It's Fukui-san, but he says it so fast. It's Fukui-san.
Yeah, it sounds like squeeze on.
It sounds like Squeeze-on. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's why we're doing that.
Squeeze, yeah, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze.
But he it's and like the commentary too. You know, obviously you got to translate this from Japanese, which is, you know, a detailed and frantically paced language.
Sure.
Honestly,
Yeah.
Japanese is spoken very, very quickly for I think a lot of people, but it's. You know, the translation of the commentary is pretty high quality, and it's presented in such a way that it's palatable to English listeners.
Anybody.
The nicest trait is that it is not mean spirited.
Yeah.
It's there's no trace of mean spirit in the show at all. Chairman Kaga is super respectful of everyone. They tout the challenges that come out of the show.
Yeah, they give a little bit of their backstory, really kind of build them up and showcase their talent. And
I like too how the Iron Chefs are kind of like the Dark Souls bosses of the cooking world.
Yeah.
You know.
yeah,
But it occurred to me one night while I was watching. They brought on this renowned French chef who was currently operating a business in Japan, and like I was just sitting there like, because they don't always pick the chef that you think they're going to.
Right.
There's Chinese, Japanese, Italian, and French.
You would think he would pick Sakai-san.
Hiroyuki Sakai, the
Iron Chef French.
Iron Chef French, and he did, and I got like immediately just like yes.
it's like
it's
like Game Bowl level excitement.
Yeah, like
Sakai is the one who has the best record on Iron Chef too. So
Right.
the elite usually would
Yeah.
pick him as, you know.
I think he actually ended up beating Sakai in the episode I'm
Did he?
thinking of. Yeah,
It didn't happen very often.
it was. I think it was crayfish. Crayfish was the ingredient, and these just like live fucking crayfish, just like selling around. They're just like just tossing into the pot and whatever.
It's incredible. It's really good.
It gives you a real insight too into like haute cuisine, you know, and how like. You know, all these ingredients you would never think of, like, you know, like pork belly and horseradish,
and how they can do that on the fly. I think.
Yeah, it really is like you watch masters of the craft at work.
Sure.
And then when you see these dishes, you're always like, oh my god.
Right. How did they do that?
It's just mind blowing.
Yeah. Well, like we said before, it's all on YouTube too, so you can all of it.
So again,
the original show, that's important. It's
Yeah.
the original
the
one.
Japanese
None of
show.
the American bullshit.
The original
Don't watch that
Japanese
shit.
one.
Get the
Fuck out of here,
the
Bobby
90s.
Flay.
Yeah, fuck you.
But the original Japanese show, it's all on YouTube. You look for Iron Chef Japan full episodes.
Yeah.
Very fantastic. I highly recommend watching it. It's good to have on just like in the background of anything you're doing. I feel like
Particular episode, if you could, one to watch.
one particular episode to watch. I would say it's the one that we watched. It was the two-parter. What was the ingredient?
Two-parter?
The one where they tied at the
They
end.
tied at the end, and they had to do a tiebreaker.
Suckling Pig wasn't that one.
No,
was
it's
it?
something
No,
big.
it wasn't Suckling Pig. Don't watch that one. It's sad.
It's really sad. I got
Was it
bummed out.
squid? I think it was squid. They tied on
Might have been squid.
It might-
Oh wait, no, it was the anglerfish.
Anglerfish. Was that
Right?
it?
No.
No, it was because this was earlier than that.
Okay.
It was
it was-
it was something like squid or something like that. But then the second episode was like this bean paste that we had never heard of. We
that's
had no
right.
idea.
That's right.
This like gray, tasteless bean paste, but it has the advantage of absorbing the flavors of everything
Sure,
around it.
sure.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just a phenomenal show. Very, very good spirited. Very, very exciting. Frankly, very.
Treating food like a sport in all the most noble and approachable
Exactly.
ways.
In all the best ways, in all the best things that come to mind when you think of sport. Sure.
Yeah, and also when you think
honor
of
and
human creativity.
patriotism.
Yeah.
You know, human creativity and artistic endeavors. Food is one of those things. We don't always think of it that way.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Iron Chef, guys. Check that shit out.
Yes.
All
Check out
over
Iron
YouTube.
Chef.
All right, Dave. Recommendations?
I have a recommendation. I'm going to keep it relatively simple. It's springtime, at least here in
For Hitler.
For
And
Hitler.
Germany.
And Germany.
Yeah.
Deutschland is happy and
A
gay.
little producer's reference for you guys.
It is springtime here in Northeast Ohio. It's starting to get nice. People are enjoying the outdoors more. People are doing things that they don't do all winter. My recommendation is to pick something that you can make and learn to make it.
Okay.
Because for me right now, I'm really excited about one of the things that I love the most about the end of winter is that I can get back to brewing beer.
Yeah.
It's something that I've been doing for a year and 3 months.
Well, it's not like snowstorms have stopped you in the past.
It's true, but it's not
more
fun.
More productive in the.
Yeah, you don't want to be sitting out in your garage over a burner in 20-degree weather if you can avoid it.
Yeah.
So oftentimes, the winter kind of slows me down. But it's really nice to, and when I say pick something to learn how to make it, I guess I also mean really get into the history of the thing, really get into the particulars of the thing. Pick one thing that you can make and practice
Learn it, yeah.
and learn it.
Any craft you can think of has a long history behind it of people figuring out how to do it.
Yeah. The tradition of beer is one such thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was considering not too long ago Glasscraft.
Yeah.
Because I saw someone had made like a like where you set up like a metal frame and then like use like stained glass art.
Sure.
Because someone on the hockey subreddit had made a like a Washington Capitals logo out of stained glass. And
Me and my girlfriend, the delightful Krispy Kreme and port.
Krispy Kreme and port. Or your Cakester port.
Yeah, hacky sack and port. She and I might be actually taking some glass blowing classes this spring or summer because they offer them around here. So you go somewhere, you get like wine and whatever, and you blow glass and you do something crazy, and it's apparently pretty affordable. So that's a thing you can realistically do.
I remember the night that you and her were just spending like 5 or 6 straight hours just watching videos of people blowing glass.
Sure.
It was crazy. We didn't even expect to get that into it. We thought we'd watch a couple things and get off of it, but before we knew it, we were watching.
You're like into it, yeah.
No, you got off on it instead.
Hey, right? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Glass fetishes.
So to link all these three together. Trisha and I, my lovely girlfriend. Trish. Oh, Trish. We love to cook. We don't have as much time to do that anymore as we did. So, a la Iron Chef.
Yeah.
Learn how to cook. It's not as hard as you think. Just pick a recipe. Look at 5. This is what I do. If you want to learn how to make something new, look at 5 or 6 recipes online.
It's real hard to fuck up eggs.
Right, exactly. Well, you pick something, look at 5 or 6 different recipes online, take an element of each of them. That's how we did the barbecue sauce when we first made it.
Yeah.
Do your own thing, make it. If it sucks, go to McDonald's.
Yeah.
When you're cooking, learning something new, if you've never done it, put on music.
And actually, as a slight addendum, take a small pot or a patch of your yard and grow one thing.
There you go.
Yeah.
Take the experience of learning to take care of and grow and nurture one plant, make a meal with it, and just it's a really fun, rewarding experience to grow something.
If it dies, you won't feel nearly as bad about it as you would if it was your kid or something.
Sure, yeah, fine. Or maybe you would. Who cares? I mean, we don't
And
know.
when you eat it, you won't definitely feel as bad as if it was your kid.
Well,
Sure.
or, you know, whatever you're into.
It's perfectly acceptable to grill garlic. Not so much a baby.
Yeah. A whole baby. Well, you have to get a walk for a baby.
You know, I learned.
Just tossing it in a bit.
Oh, no.
I call this one the hot cradle. I call this one the walkabout.
Jesus Christ!
Those are good recommendations, guys.
Yeah, I think that's pretty nice.
On that note, I think it's time to talk about what we learned today.
What did we learn
the
today?
inaugural episode of the 3
Yes,
Dude Cast, or
yes.
whatever we're going to call it.
Okay.
I guess I'll start.
Yeah, let's do a round one at a time. Let's
We've
go around.
been sitting here with notes, trying to figure out what we learned.
You guys have been. I just wrote topic, human moments, and I drew a butterfly.
There you go. That's good.
So what Ben learned is how to drop butterfly.
So for session 1, I have written here AliExpress sneaky Chinese ripoff.
Well, I'm glad I did my part to educate someone.
So check out AliExpress, but
Yeah.
don't buy anything.
I have noted here that the trebuchet is, after all, the superior siege
It is,
weapon.
as we all
Yes.
know. Go ahead.
I've learned I need to travel more.
Travel?
I need to just hop a train like Granddad did and just
Oh, most definitely. See the world.
Yep. There
go
you
to the fucking Yukon again like Granddad did.
Don't take the coward's way out.
Yeah.
Face justice like a man.
Good advice. I learned I gotta get some Chinese chicken wings. I've been missing out.
Oh, we got to do that. Seriously, if you
maybe
ever had them,
tonight.
they're fucking incredible, dude.
Possibly.
Really incredible.
If you ever do decide that it's imperative to murder someone, don't post it on Facebook.
Yeah, don't post it on Facebook.
Don't do it.
Pissing is universal, so if someone has to piss, let them piss.
Yeah.
Get out of the way.
Don't keep them from pissing.
Don't let your job get in the way of letting somebody take a leak if they need to.
I learned if you're a cab driver and you wear a suit and leather gloves, people will literally throw money at you.
Hey, I mean,
Go to as many elemental festivals as you can. Like,
So I can't see.
celebrate the bounty of Mother Nature.
Guy, what got all the wind or whatever?
windswept dude. Gross.
What's up, man? I'm the god of when. But you can call me Keanu.
Anything else? Are we good?
I think those are my takeaways.
The last one I have is give a guy $1 at the bus stop if he asks for it. Even if he is a sneaky liar, it doesn't matter. You're gonna feel better about yourself.
There's advice we can all live by.
Yeah, I think we just did our first successful episode.
There we go.
Of the
That's right.
podcast. Yeah.
All right, now we can stop being friends and go our separate ways.
Yeah. All right. This was fun while it lasted. And
Alrighty.
fuck all of you. And,
Thanks for listening to the Three Dudes audio podcast, yet to be named. Send in your suggestions.
Send in
We
your
don't got any.
suggestions. Yeah, we have our own Facebook group. You can come and join it. It's 3 Dude Show, I think, is what our Facebook page
That's
is.
right.
Peas in a podcast.
Peas in a podcast. But yeah, send me your suggestions.
bad.
If you have anything you want us to talk about on the show, we will make maybe a special aside for it. Maybe we won't. Whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Send us fan art. Draw what you think we look like.
There you go. So we will see you all next time on the 3 Dude Podcast.
Sayonara.